What's up guys, my name is Drew Anthony Duncan, or Dad for short, and welcome back to the Dad Coaster Co channel. In today's video, I am beginning a new segment entitled Theme Park Transportation. The goal of this segment is to help park goers understand the different transportation options that they may have as far as going to and from the parks that they are attending. Since I became an enthusiast, I have gained so much knowledge and experience over the years as far as navigating transportation to and from parks. So I hope the knowledge and information that I share with you in these videos can help you better plan your trips and your logistics as far as transportation goes. The first park that we will be discussing transportation options for today is Cedar Point, located in Sandusky, Ohio. This iconic and legendary park sits about an hour west of Cleveland, Ohio. Though Cedar Point does sit on a peninsula in the middle of Lake Erie, it is quite easy to get to. There is also a number of different transportation modes that you can use to get to Cedar Point. First, let's start with the most common and maybe the most easiest option, and that is driving to Cedar Point. Obviously, depending on where you're driving from, will depend on how long it will take you to get to Cedar Point. Driving is also going to allow you to have much flexibility to basically map out your schedule the way you want it to. You can come and go as you please, and Cedar Point does offer re-entry passes for the parking lot if you do decide to leave the park and come back. Plus, if you're driving close enough to where you can do Cedar Point in one day, you don't have to worry about staying the night in Sandusky. Now let's say you're flying into the area around Sandusky. There are a handful of airports that you could fly into if you want to drive from the airport to Cedar Point. I'm going to keep this list of airports limited to ones that are within a 2-hour drive of Cedar Point. The closest airport to Sandusky and Cedar Point is Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, which is in Cleveland, Ohio. This airport is approximately 1 hour from Cedar Point. Just south of Cleveland is the Akron-Canton Airport, which is approximately an hour and a half from Cedar Point. On the opposite side, just west of Sandusky, you have Toledo. Toledo has a small express airport that is just over an hour from Cedar Point. At this current time, I believe the Toledo Express Airport only operates Allegiant flights. Then looking just further north of Toledo, you have Detroit. The Detroit Metro Airport is about an hour and 45 minutes from Cedar Point. If you're looking to fly into any of these nearby cities, you should be able to find some good rental car options, either at any of these airports or within these cities. Let's say that you don't want to drive from any of these cities. Let's say you want to find another means of transportation. My next suggestion would be taking an Amtrak to Sandusky. If you're not familiar with what Amtrak is, it's basically a train. Sandusky has at least 2 east and westbound Amtrak trains that pass through town each day. You can catch direct Amtrak trains to Sandusky from Cleveland and even as far west as Chicago. You can also catch it from Toledo as well. The Amtrak station in Sandusky is about a 10-minute drive, Uber or taxi away from Cedar Point. Just be mindful that if you do plan to schedule round-trip train service to and from Sandusky, that you may have to stay overnight due to the limited and weird train schedules. Another service that is often thought of when referring to Amtrak is Greyhound. You can take direct Greyhound buses from multiple surrounding cities including Cleveland, Akron, and Toledo. The Greyhound and the Amtrak are both located at the same location, so again it's about a 10-minute ride over to Cedar Point. Just like the Amtrak, the Greyhound is pretty limited to just a few stops in Sandusky each day. So again, just be mindful that if you are planning to plan your trip around the train or the bus options, you very well will probably have to stay overnight in Sandusky. But there is a good chance that you may be planning to stay multiple days in Sandusky due to the size of Cedar Point and just the amount of things there is to do there. So this option may definitely work for you if you plan to stay multiple days. If you are not driving to the park, once again, when you arrive in Sandusky, you will probably have to call an Uber or a taxi to get over to Cedar Point. There is one more kind of unique option to get over there as well. You can actually take a ferry over to Cedar Point from Sandusky. You can find the schedules and tickets for the ferry online at jet-express.com. And if you're wondering if you can walk to Cedar Point, the answer is no. Again, the park is pretty much completely surrounded by water on a peninsula, and all of the roadways that lead to the park are designated for vehicles only. I hope the information in this video can be a help to you guys who are planning out your transportation logistics to Cedar Point. If you guys want to see more content regarding transportation options to other parks, comment down below which parks you would like to see. I definitely appreciate the support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone.